Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the sole owner of the Triple B, even though the Bang Bang Gang still has it. Well, he's finally done it. He's finally reached the exact day where he has now become the longest reigning AEW World Heavyweight Champion in history, and he did it first and foremost this past Saturday night on Collision, because the Devil and the Cleaner went so hard on Collision that, I'm going to be honest here, that match, it was a shame that it was on Collision. It was a shame that it was on a random Saturday night. It was a shame that it was built up in just 3 days, because that kind of match, the match itself, the action inside the ring, what MJF did to retain his championship, what Kenny Omega did to try to keep his reign. It's not a streak. I hate that word. It wasn't a streak. It's the reign. Kenny Omega's reign, it's over. Now it's MJF's reign. But the fact of the matter is, what these two men performed in that ring showcased what AEW should be all about. Not to mention, these two stars, Maxwell Jacob Friedman and Kenny Omega, are two very different proponents of what All Elite Wrestling offers and should offer for the next few years, for the next few decades of the company's future, because we got the best bout machine in Kenny Omega, and he did not disappoint. He never disappoints when it comes to being put on the spot, when it comes to AEW and his style of wrestling is the main reason why people watch AEW in the first place. And then you got Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, the fastest rising superstar in professional wrestling today. He's 26, 27 at this point. He's still very young. He hasn't reached his prime, and things that he can do on the microphone, in the ring, that just goes to show you. It's not about Adam Copeland. It's not about the Hardys. It's not about all these stars that you want to bring in, that you need, that Tony Khan brings in because of their name value. Kenny Omega pretty much passed the torch to MJF this past Saturday night in Collision, and AEW and Tony Khan did it with the circumstances that led to it in the best way possible. Even though you already know, this match, in my opinion, should have headlined a pay-per-view. Any pay-per-view, Full Gear. The pay-per-view that they have at the end of the year. They just announced, if I'm not mistaken. Revolution, Double or Nothing, All In, All Out. This match, the build-up to it, the match itself, we just saw one of the best matches on TV. Not just for AEW, for professional wrestling in 2023, and we saw it on a random Saturday night with no business involved. And yes, it's very reminiscent to what WCW did with Hollywood Hogan versus Goldberg back in the day, back in 1998. U.S. title, WCW title on the line, Georgia Dome, 40,000 strong. It might not have been the same circumstances, but in terms of build-up, in terms of notice, yes, it absolutely was. And again, it's a shame that these two men had to go out there with 3 days' notice on a random Saturday and put this beast of a match together. But they did their job right, because I want to see more of this. I want to see this feud, this rivalry continue, and the fact that it's not going to continue. We're not going to get Omega versus MJF again for a long, long time, because Jay White is going to challenge for the world title at Full Gear. Samoa Joe has a shot at that championship very, very soon. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, that story still has to play out in the next few months. And in my opinion, MJF's title should be ended, his title reign should be ended by Wardlow. But you gotta give Tony Khan, you gotta give AEW their due. Because again, I thought this match was gonna have a screwy finish. I thought this match was not gonna happen. I thought this match was all smokes and mirrors. Because again, it's just ridiculous to have these two, your two biggest stars, biggest single stars, a match that, for all intents and purposes, WWE would build up as the main event of WrestleMania and actually make money and actually make business and actually make headlines. It's ridiculous to me. It's ludicrous to me that this match would just randomly happen on a random whatever episode. Whether it be Rampage, Dynamite, Collision, doesn't matter. The stage wasn't big enough for these two stars to go at it for the top prize in your company. As simple as that. But props to Max, props to Kenny, because they went out there, they put on the show that Tony Khan, AEW, and the fans deserved. And I'm pretty much sure they left everybody else wanting more. Again, I'm not going to keep saying that because I've already said it. I've already said it a couple of times at this point. But if AEW can lean into doing more of this, more of these kinds of matches with these kinds of superstars, building these kinds of superstars to these kinds of matches, hopefully on pay-per-views, then AEW has its future secured. But they have to figure out a better way to promote, a better way to lead to this. I've said this multiple times in the past. They need to structure the hell out of their creative process. They need to streamline it. They need to stop throwing stuff against the wall and hope it sticks, because it doesn't work that way. It just diminishes everything you put on TV. It does. Again, it's a match that I wouldn't mind seeing that match, MJF, Kenny Omega, the match that they had at Collision. I wouldn't mind watching that match on replay, not on the loop. I'm not gonna go that far. It was pretty damn good. But if you told me if you told me I had to sit down every single day and watch that match every single day, I would do it with no hesitation. It was that damn good. It was that damn good. So with that said, let's see what tonight's episode of Dynamite brings. Because if you tune in later on tonight to TBS, it's Wednesday Night Dynamite Live. And again, the talent itself, when it goes out there and they have to put on a show, they never disappoint. So tune in later on to Wednesday Night Dynamite. So with that said, what are your thoughts? What do you think of the Collision main event between MJF and Kenny Omega? Was it the right call to have MJF retain? Was it the right call to have that match on 3 days' notice on a random Saturday night? I'm just throwing it out there. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.